What's going on, Ravens fans? We're going to start off today's stream with some great news for everybody. We got training camp starting tomorrow. Well, technically today, a little bit. Veterans reported, but they'll be out on the practice field in less than 24 hours. And let me tell you this, I could not be more excited. So happy that you are joining us today on the Ravens Rundown. It's Tuesday at 5 o'clock, so you know what that means. We are live for about the next hour. Got 3 awesome segments lined up for you guys. Up first, we're going to get into some surprise cut candidates. Earlier today, we put out a video talking about the best starting lineup in the National Football League, why ESPN believes that lineup is the Baltimore Ravens. But then they released another article giving out a 53-man roster projection. I'm going to go through 5 surprise cut candidates from that roster projection. Then after that, we're going to talk about some great news from the NFL, what that might mean for the Ravens, and looking forward to, I know it's crazy, the 2026 NFL Draft. And then last but not least, my favorite, your favorite segment every single week, our live Ravens Mailbags, your questions, my answers, all in real time right here on the Ravens Rundown Live. Before you ask me a question, though, I got a question for you. With training camp starting tomorrow, name a player you are excited to watch in training camp. And get down to the comment section for me and name who that player is. I put out the live poll, and the question was similar, but I gave you 4 options between Malachi Starks, Mike Green, Jair Alexander, and DeAndre Hopkins. Right now, Mike Green leads the voting at 40%. Malachi Starks in second at 31%. 40% of 26 votes. That's like 10 votes almost? I don't know. Maybe? We'll see. I'm not the best at math. That's why I'm sitting here on YouTube talking to you guys. Yeah, so it's about 10 probably. Probably somewhere around there. Keep getting in that comment section down below as I bring in our producer, Mr. Jack Lotteray, wearing his B as in Baltimore hat, as always. Baltimore. Jack, it is great to see you. Any thoughts on training camp? Excited to get football back going.
Football is back, folks.
Amen.
Now, if Matthew Petersen were still here,
yep,
we'd be getting into the whole argument about football's not back until week 1. That's not actually how he talks.
That's a little bit Donald Trump-y.
That's not actually. They're saying that football's not back until week 1. That's what they're telling me. But, I mean, getting the players back in the pads, doing practice, when we've been on a drought for months.
Yeah.
I mean, we had the draft, which was fun. Free agency was fun. But to actually get the pads on and start to actually, play some ball, it's a good time. It's a good time.
Yeah, at this point, I'm absolutely taking anything I can get, right?
Yeah,
We've been wandering through the desert for the last 40 days, and now we're at training camp. Then we're going to get into preseason, and guess what?
The Oasis is here.
We can see the Oasis in the distance. I'm excited. I know you guys are excited as well, because if you weren't, you wouldn't be hanging out with me at 5 p.m. on a Tuesday in the middle of July.
Sickos.
But you are, and for that, I'm so thankful. Let's get down to the comment section. Jennifer says she's excited for Malachi Starks. Retooled is excited for Jair Alexander. Abdi's excited for Mike Green. Jameer's excited for Jair. Darius asks, #Ravens, great question. Thanks for the question. Do you think we let safeties Bo Braden and Sanusi Kane fly, or do we keep them in the nest? I think they're going to get a little bit more leash than they got last year for multiple reasons. Number one, they're older. They've been in the league for 1 whole year. They're better, and they just know how an NFL schedule, how it works. To be a rookie in the NFL is a very, very hard change to make. They're not that anymore. And second, Darius Washington tore his Achilles, right? And so this team, this coaching staff, Zach Orr, has no choice but to let those guys fly this year. And I'm excited to see it. Really, really, really excited. Attendance squad, hey, Joey. Just want to say I love how you keep Ravens Rundown so fun. Appreciate all the hard work you and the team put in. You're one of my favorite YouTubers. Attendance squad, thank you so much, my friend. That means the world. You are one of my favorite viewers, my friend. Raven76B more says, I'm happy football's back. Now I'm nervous and scared during training camp. I don't want no injuries. Bam Jones, #, what do you think about TJ Tampa? Bam, ask that question again, but use #Ravens. Okay, not just hashtag. That way that we can add it into the live mailbag at the end of today's stream. Speaking of today's stream, YouTube is bringing out something new, and it's called being a top fan, okay? So you can gain XP by commenting all stream long and super chatting. So if you want to look how we're currently sitting at the top fans in today's stream, Christian Coveney is at the top. And then I am, let's see, I am everywhere. Is that the next? Their name here is Goo Goo Gaga. Let's see, go to channel. It is, I am everywhere because why not? Oh, it has changed. Up first, still Christian Coveney, and then it is Attendant Squad, and then Ravens 76B more. All of those people are our top 3 fans. So if you want to know how you get to that top of the leaderboard, if you want to know how to show your face on the screen, there's 2 ways to do it. Comment and keep on commenting. The second way is to send in a super chat. Any dollar amount would send you straight up to the top of the list. And if you attach a question to that super chat, it gets guaranteed status in today's mailbag. No one can jump you. You skip the line, and that's how you become a top fan on today's stream.
So I just want to let everyone in. I'm going to let the Ravens fans in on a little bit of inside info that not everybody knows. So I was on our Raiders stream yesterday.
Yep.
And we ran this top fan thing, and we saw how it worked. We wanted to try to figure out what the algorithm was, how much XP do you get. Super chats are weighted heavily.
Okay, that's good to know.
Like, if you super chat, and you're not required to super chat, you're not. Commenting will get you XP as well if you comment throughout the entire day. But super chats are weighted pretty heavily.
Okay. See, I didn't know. I didn't get to see it yesterday.
We saw that on Raiders yesterday. Super chats are weighted very heavily. So if you want to be the top fan, and we're going to keep coming back to this throughout the day because we want to see who's the top fan of today's show. That's just some inside info I got from the people at Raiders and the people at YouTube, is that super chats, you're going to get up the leaderboard quick.
Okay, be a top fan today. You can comment and comment and comment all stream long. You can also, if you want to shoot up to the top of the leaderboard, send in a super chat. Any dollar amount, I'm sure, would shoot you up to the top as of right now. $1, $2, $3. It does not matter. Shout out to Christian. Shout out to Attendant Squad. And shout out to Ravens 76B more, who are the top 3 fans in today's stream. But, of course, we got all stream long to change up that leaderboard. You've seen a lot of people already doing it in the comment section. You can be next. Use hashtag Ravens in the chat. Or, like we talked about earlier, you could super chat, and that guarantees yourself a spot on today's show. If you've got any question for me at all, okay, about free agency, about this next season, about the schedule, about training camp, about preseason, about uniforms, about anything you want, ask me in that comment section and use hashtag Ravens when you do so. So that way Producer Jack can bring it up onto the show itself, and that way it can get recognized by the software. That way you can see yourself on the screen and I can answer your question. If you got anything about anything, let me know in the comment section. Get those questions in now and as quickly as you can. I'm excited. I've already said it a million times on today's stream, but if you're as excited as I am, make sure you're doing one big favor and like today's video. If you're pumped up, that training camp starts tomorrow, that vets reported today. Excuse me. I think my favorite thing I saw all day long from vets reporting, I saw 2 things that I really loved. Number 1, I saw Kyle Van Noy walking up to the facility wearing black shorts and a plain white tee. How much of a psycho do you have to be to show up being a multimillionaire after getting 12 and a half sacks in a season and wearing a plain white tee with black shorts? That's what you want to have an edge rusher, okay? In my opinion, love seeing that. Second thing I loved, Marlon Humphrey, he does what he does. He likes to be very active on social media. He had his phone out, was videoing Lamar Jackson a little bit too close. Lamar got up, walked away. I just love seeing those guys have a little bit of a playful back and forth in the locker room, because I know that even though Marlo probably annoys Lamar sometimes, he's so happy that they're all back together and that they're getting ready to start practicing.
I do got to just real quick address a comment in the comment section. Brandon Steinhorn, what's up with the Red Sox hat? Brandon, the B stands for Baltimore.
B stands for Baltimore.
If you know, you know. We've been saying it all offseason. The B stands for Baltimore.
Exactly. B stands for Baltimore. What else could it stand for? Alrighty. That is it for the build-up on today's show. Again, stick around because we haven't even started. Okay, we got 3 awesome segments that are coming up on the program. Up first, we're going to talk some surprise cut candidates, okay? Some guys that might not be on the roster when roster cut down day comes in late August. and some guys you might need to keep an eye out on during training camp and see if they're going to be able to play themselves onto the roster. Looks like we're ready to go from Jack.
We're not.
We're not ready.
You know why?
Why?
Because we're not at 15 likes yet.
Okay, we're not at 15 likes. Jack said that's the goal for today. 15 likes before we even start our first segment. I need you guys to help me.
We both graduated college.
We
right?
did. We did.
So therefore, we had to reach some sort of mathematical requirement.
Yes,
right?
we did.
So there's 19 people in the stream.
Yep.
There's only 13 likes.
Yes.
I don't think the math checks out there.
No, it's like a 66% like rate.
Something like that.
Yep.
Maybe. I don't
probably.
know. Yeah, something like that.
Yeah.
So 15 should be easy.
Yeah.
Hell, 20 should be easy because there's 20 people in the chat, but it is what it is.
Well, we got 14. Once we get that 15th like, Jack is going to push us across. If you haven't liked the stream yet, do it right now. Do it as quickly as possible. Welcome into the Ravens Rundown. I am your host, Joey Petersen. On today's show, we're going to be taking a look at ESPN's 53-man roster projection for your Baltimore Ravens, and I'm going to give you 5 surprise cut candidates that ESPN believes will not make that final roster once that day comes in late August. I want to start by giving you a reminder, though, okay? Anything can happen during training camp. If there's a guy that's the 54th, 55th best player on this roster that barely isn't going to make it on this list that you really like, well, I could tell you one of two things. One, he could absolutely ball out over the next couple of weeks, so don't get upset. Don't be mad. We're just at the start of training camp. We got a lot longer to go. He could end up making this roster. And I think also the second thing we need to take in mind, it's easy to do this now, but we got a lot of practices and even some preseason games left. Unfortunately, usually, by the time we start the season, there's a couple of key guys injured, and some of those 54th, 55th best players end up getting those roster spots, end up making the team. So this is just a projection, but hey, it's from the big guys at the 4-letter network, so that means we got to talk about it. Starting off with our first cut candidate from ESPN, it is one David Ojabo. So if David Ojabo didn't make the 53-man roster, and he's an edge rusher, who did in that edge rushing unit? Odafe Owe, Kyle Van Noy, Tavius Robinson, who many people, myself included, think is going to be the guy they choose over David Ojabo, and then Mike Green and Adisa Isaac. The top two, bottom two, those guys are locks. It's going to come down between Robinson and Ojabo, and in this case, it came down to Robinson. This is the right move. Okay? I have no doubts in my mind that this is the right move that Baltimore should make. Hopefully, Baltimore will make, okay? Because if you look at the two of them last season, Tavius Robinson was not only on the field far more than David Ojabo was, but he was far more effective when on it. 485 snaps, 32 tackles. He almost quadrupled the amount of tackles David Ojabo got. Doubled his tackles for loss, had a sack and a half more, and almost 3 times the amount of stops that Ojabo had. And I know it's hard for you guys to, I don't know how to put this lightly and kindly. It's hard for you guys to accept this, okay? It's time for this to happen. A lot of people see the fact that David Ojabo was a second-round pick. He was the guy that Baltimore took a risk on, right? Because he suffered that horrible injury in his pro day in Michigan, and before that, he would have been a first-rounder. And so you got this steal in the second round and all this. He hasn't been good. He hasn't been good, okay? And because he's a second-rounder, you're paying him a good bit of money, so cutting him is going to save you a good bit of money as well. It's time for David Ojabo to not be on this roster anymore. I don't care if he's an international pathway player and gets you a 91st guy. That means 0 to me because the 91st guy probably is going to make the roster anyway. So what's the difference in keeping a guy on a roster just to get 91 guys when that guy's not even going to make it? It doesn't make sense to me. David Ojabo, I believe that your time in Baltimore is done. What say you guys? Let me know by liking today's video if you think the Ravens will beat the Bills week 1, okay? We talked about it in the office. I'm just trying to gauge the fan base. If you think they're going to beat Buffalo in Buffalo on week 1, do me one big favor and hit today's thumbs up button. On to last year's star of the preseason, a guy I went to bat for every single day is Dayton Wade. ESPN believes he will not make the 53-man roster. Now, I will say, of all of these guys, I think Wade is a guy to keep your eye on during camp just because of his flash ability. And yes, I'm coining that term and that word, so don't use it. If you do, go ahead and Venmo me. But the thing that's keeping Wade off this roster, currently, in my opinion, is the fact that he's pretty much the same exact player as the guy Baltimore just drafted in LeJohntay Wester out of the University of Colorado. Both small guys, 5'9", 183 and 163 pounds. Both young, both lightning fast, both really great in the return game. Like, they're two very similar players. And when you look at who you already have on this roster with Zay Flowers, it'd be ridiculous to keep both Wade and Wester, because then three of your wide receivers would be 5'9" and at least 183 pounds, or excuse me, at most 183 pounds. Like, that's not going to happen, okay? That's not what most wide receiver rooms are made out of. Half of the guys being 3 inches under 6 foot and no more than $180. So I believe LeJohntay Wester is going to get the nod over Dayton Wade. ESPN believes me as well because they're pretty much the same player. LeJohntay Wester is just younger and is going to have more tread on the tires because of that. But who knows? Maybe Dayton Wade's going to do this year what he did last year. Came out, was absolutely dominant in the preseason. If he is, you might want to type those DWs. Let me know who makes the roster. Is it LeJohntay Wester? Is it Dayton Wade? You let me know in the comment section down below. Sticking on the offensive side of the ball, let's go up to the offensive line, to the center position with Nick Samak. ESPN had Baltimore taking 9 offensive linemen. Nick Samak was not one of them. Included in the backups was Ben Cleveland, Joe Noteboom, Emory Jones Jr., and Carson Vinson. And this surprises me a little bit, okay? Because Nick Samak was a guy you drafted in 2023. And no, he didn't make the 53-man roster last year. I kind of thought that a year on the practice squad, a year in the National Football League, he was going to be able to take that next step this next year to at least be a valuable depth piece on this roster on the interior. But I think what surprises me the most is in this roster projection, Baltimore takes 4 running backs. Derrick Henry, obviously. Justice Hill, obviously. Keaton Mitchell, obviously. But then they also took Rasheen Ali, which was a surprise to me because you also took Pat Ricard. That's no question. So really, it's almost like you took 5 running backs because you had 4 running backs and a fullback. And so I would be shocked if Baltimore carries, or excuse me, I wouldn't be shocked if Baltimore carries 3 running backs. I would be kind of surprised if they keep Pat Ricard and they also carry a guy like Rasheen Ali. That just doesn't make sense to me. So if they carry only 3, that opens up a spot on the offensive line, and I believe that Nick Samak will be able to take that spot. Coming up, we're going to go over to the defensive side of the ball and talk about 2 guys who might not make the roster per ESPN. But before that, what should make the roster, I'm talking about the closet roster, is this cutoff hoodie. Go to chatsports.com/cutoff hoodie to get this today for only $33. It was $55, now down to $33. If you could do the quick math, that's $22 off, guys. I don't know if you've seen prices of things these days, but let me give you a hint. They're expensive, okay? $33. That is wonderful for an officially licensed piece of Baltimore Ravens merch. It can be yours if you go to chatsports.com/cutoff hoodie. Of course, that link's in the comment and description of today's video. $22 off. Take advantage of that right now. Let's talk linebacker. And let's talk Chandler Martin. He was not in the 53-man roster projection from ESPN. And I know what you're saying, Joey. How was that surprise? Chandler Martin's an undrafted free agent. Obviously, he's not going to make the 53-man roster. But I rebuttal to you and say, guys, he balled out during minicamp. This was a guy that every indication was that he was absolutely dominant. And I know we're in a training camp. Minicamp is long in the past, right? They're not going to judge who makes the 53-man off what you do in minicamp. But I look and I think about the linebacker room, and it's like I wouldn't be shocked if Chandler Martin makes it over Jake Hummel. Would you be surprised? Because I sure wouldn't. Chandler Martin is one of those guys who, when he's on the field, you notice him because he's such an athletic freak. Sure, he's not the biggest guy. He's not the strongest guy, but he's usually the fastest guy on the field any given time he's on it when looking at the linebacker room and honestly when looking at the entire defense. And when you look at this room, Trenton Simpson's a lock. Roquan Smith is a lock. Teddy Buchanan's a lock. I think they're going to take one more guy, and I think it ultimately boils down between Jake Hummel and Chandler Martin, which means it's only ultimately going to boil down between who makes more plays in training camp and who makes more plays in the preseason. And if there's anything that we've known about the Baltimore Ravens is they typically like bringing at least one UDFA on the roster. That's what they've done in their history, right? Last year it was Bo Braid. This year it might be Chandler Martin. Take a guess for me. How many UDFAs do you think make the final roster? I think it's only going to be one. Okay, maybe it's Jay Higgins, the other linebacker out of Iowa. Maybe it's Chandler Martin. Maybe it's somebody totally different. You let me know your thoughts in the comment section down below. We're going to go over to the cornerbacks now, and that's how we're going to round this one out with Robert Longerbeam, the corner out of Rutgers. ESPN has him just on the outside of the 53-man roster as they take 7 corners. Marlon Humphrey, Nate Wiggins, Jair Alexander, Chidobe Awuzie. Those 4 guys aren't going anywhere. And TJ Tampa in that group as well. And then Bilal Kone and Jalen Armour-Davis round out this group. I don't think Jalen Armour-Davis is a shoo-in over Longerbeam. Okay, I think probably he's going to get the nod just because he's played more in the National Football League. But you can also turn that on its head and say, okay, if they don't think they can trust Jalen Armour-Davis, they'd save a lot more money with cutting him over cutting Longerbeam because they'd save $1.1 million if they do so. And so if you believe that neither of them are going to see the field much, if you believe they're kind of on the same space, maybe Jalen Armour-Davis is just a touch over a guy like Longerbeam, maybe that $1.1 million save pushes Longerbeam back over him. And we got to remember, though, when talking about JAD, is that Zach Orr in minicamp confirmed that they're giving him looks at safety after the Ardarius Washington injury. He said he's one of the smartest guys in the room, and he's trying to get as many guys to be as versatile as they can in that secondary. If Jalen Armour-Davis can come out and he can prove, you know what, I can play both positions, I can play anywhere you need me to, he will get that final roster spot, and then you're going to be looking at a competition between Bilal Kone and Robert Longerbeam, and in that case, I'd probably give the edge to Kone. But if Jalen Armour-Davis isn't great at safety, and they say, you know what, he's just kind of a liability there, let's just keep him in that corner, then I think that's a battle between Robert and Jalen to look at. Make your call for me. Name a Ravens player you think gets cut. I just gave you 5. Okay, I need you to give me just 1. It can be the same as me. It can be something totally different. Just let me know in the comment section down below. We're going to get on out of here. Appreciate every single one of you guys for hanging out with us on today's show. Make sure you got me followed on Instagram and on Twitter. And more than anything, if you do anything after today, make sure you hit that subscribe button and join us for nonstop coverage of your favorite team. Alrighty, I just gave you 5. You give me 1. Name a player you see gets cut. Adam78 says, I see Martin replacing Ajabo. Interesting. I could see that too. The only thing is Martin's a stand-up linebacker and David Ajabo is an edge rusher, and they're going to want more than 4 edge rushers. Okay, so I don't think that they would, cut Ajabo to save Martin. That I don't know how much sense that makes, in my opinion. Broderick Washington says Christian. Ooh, I don't know about that. Attendance squad says David Ajabo. Darren said, sorry, I'm late. What's up, D? Good to see you, buddy. We got a super chat. $2 from C King, King of the Sea. Says Mike Green at least 8 sacks rookie year. I absolutely love that call. I would probably say somewhere around 8 as well. I don't want to get too ahead of myself and say this guy's going to get double digits. Like, I think he has the ability to, but I think we got to tamper expectations a little bit. Follow that up with another $2 super chat. Rookie record sacks is 14.5, if anyone. Mike Green. Now he's calling for the record. He's calling for the record, baby. I love it. Now we finally got a super chat, and you can see how heavy that interacts with YouTube's top fans. C King has now jumped up to the top leaderboard, has 200 XP, and is now above Christian Coveney, and is also above Attendance Squad, who are still sitting at 75. If you want to see your name on this list, keep commenting all stream long. And also, if you want to send in a super chat, any dollar amount, you're likely going to jump up to number 2, maybe even past C King. Here's everybody else in the chat. A lot of people tied for second place, Jack.
All I'm going to say, if someone sends in a 5,
Yep.
I would almost bet they jump up to number 1.
We don't like to use the G word here on the Ravens Rundown, but I would almost guarantee it as well. Okay?
I would, if we're basing it off this algorithm that I think we're starting to figure out a little bit.
Yep.
If someone sends in a 5 right now, they jump up to number 1.
I think so too. Darren says, I'm number 11 right now, shooting for top 5. Darren.
Darren, we just said. Now, no one is, I do want to make it clear, no one's forced to super chat. We appreciate the donations, but if you want to be number 1, if you want to take over that spot, $5 super chat, I think, plants you in the number 1 spot.
We'll see. Only one way to find out. Darren, good buddy from high school. Some say best friend. I don't. Just kidding. Darren got engaged a couple months ago. Congrats to Darren. And he gets married on December 13th. Congrats to Darren as well. If you want to get on the show, use hashtag Ravens in the chat to get your questions featured on today's mailbag. We're 1 segment in. We got 2 more to go. Up next, we're going to be talking about some great news from the National Football League that the Baltimore Ravens got, how that affects the 2026 NFL Draft, and then we will get to all your questions in our mailbag. We've already got a lot of really good questions, but I'm nowhere close to being done asking for them, okay? So if you got more questions, please get them in. It can be about anything you want. Training camp, preseason, the schedule, uniforms, free agency, the draft, predictions, projections, anything you got, hit me with it. Hit me with your best shot, as they say. That's a good, someone should write a song about that. That's a good one. Kimberly Harmon, do you think Lamar Jackson gets the Super Bowl ring and retires number 8 jersey? That's interesting. I think it would take more than just 1 Super Bowl to retire the number 8 jersey. And there's also the interesting thing with Lamar is he said before, when he wins a Super Bowl, he will change his jersey number to 1, which is interesting. I don't know if a lot of people know that. And so, say he wins 2 Super Bowls, wins 1 at number 8, wins 1 at number 1, then what do? Right? Then he takes number 2. That's it. Exactly. So that's a good question. I don't think so. Attendance squad, Joey, just got a quick question. What do you think the most electric home game uniform for the Ravens and most electric away game uniform? Love that question, attendance squad. Copy it, paste it, ask it again, use hashtag Ravens. But I think the best home uniform, I'm not going to lie, I love the Purple Rising uniforms. I absolutely love the alternate purple look. I love the front-facing Raven on the helmet. I love the gold face mask. I also love just the all black. I think the all black looks great. For away uniforms, I'm a big fan of the all white. Like if you're gonna go white, I'm not a huge fan of like white on purple or white on black. If you're away, in my opinion, I think you got to be all one color. Or like, I think white on gray or white on silver looks fine. But if they're dark colors like black or purple, I think you got to go just all white in that case. Okay. We're ready to go with our second segment. Thanks, everybody, for hanging out with us. Keep hanging out with us. Keep commenting to get up on that top fan leaderboard. Keep liking today's stream if you have not already. We're going to talk about some great news that the NFL gave the Baltimore Ravens and all that coming up. Let me fix my mic cord right now. Welcome into the show, everybody. Today we're going to talk about some great news that the Baltimore Ravens could be getting from the National Football League. I'll give you a little bit of a hint. I know it's a long time from now, but it's about the 2026 NFL Draft. But trust me, you're going to want to hang around and see what it is because it could be really, really big for Baltimore. Before that, though, I need your help, okay? I'm going to be talking to you man-to-man, mano-a-mano, look you straight in the eye. My goal, okay, is 2 times the amount of subs in 1 year, okay? When I took this channel over, it was at 17,220 subs. I took it over August 10th, 2024. We're getting close to August 10th, 2025, and I need 1,400 or more subs by then, okay? I need you guys to help me out. If you want to help me achieve my goals and get this channel to keep on rolling, hit that subscribe button today because we are growing rapidly. Over 16,000 subs added in the last 12 months, and that's thanks to you guys. If you have not yet, join us today for free coverage on the Baltimore Ravens. Alrighty, this could be big for Baltimore, okay? I'm not going to front to you, okay? Given what's happened with NFL free agents signing with clubs recently, okay, we've seen a ton of that since the start of training camp, okay? Over the Cap has updated look on what comp picks teams could be getting before the 2026 NFL draft, okay? And there could be a surprising one in store for Baltimore. Now, if you don't know what a compensatory draft pick is, don't worry. I'm sure you're not alone. It means to qualify for a compensatory pick, teams must end up with more qualifying free agents lost than gained in a particular year. Compensatory picks are not divided up equally among the teams, and no team can receive more than 4 compensatory picks in a single year. So a lot of people complain about how Baltimore isn't very active in free agency, and I think there's a reason for that. Okay, they like the fact that a lot of times their free agents go sign elsewhere and they don't bring as many in because that means they just get more draft picks, because if we've seen anything about this franchise, drafting and developing has been their strategy, and it's been the reason they've been so consistently dominant over the last decade or two. So the projected comp picks for Baltimore when it comes to 2026, Brandon Stevens, right now, projected to be a 5th-round pick. Same with Patrick McCarry, who went to the Jacksonville Jaguars. Josh Jones, 7th-round selection. That one was kind of a sneaky late one. You're like, okay, sweet, I'll get a 7th-round pick for Josh Jones to go sign elsewhere. However, the Ravens could get another surprise pick for a player that signed with the Buffalo Bills. I'll tell you who that is in just a couple of seconds. Before that, I need you guys to help me out. Name a player I should be looking for in the 2026 draft, okay? I'm focused on the season. I'm not looking that far ahead, but some of you guys are. Let me know who I should be keeping my eye on as college football approaches, okay? Let me know in the comment section down below. Do you guys remember Trey White? I know in like 10, 15 years from now, that's going to be a trivia question. Something about Trey White playing with Baltimore, and every single person in that bar that you're doing trivia with is saying, Trey White played for Baltimore? When? Well, it was for about 7 or 8 games, and he had a fine year in Baltimore. It wasn't anything spectacular, let's just say that. His overall PFF grade was a 52.9. 175th out of 222 cornerbacks. His coverage grade is 54.4. Run defense, 51.5. 2 missed tackles, that's not bad. Allowed a passer rating, 127.3. 12.6 yards per catch, allowed 17 catches and 247 coverage snaps. There was some bad in that. However, I think we all got to remember some of the good that he had. And when he absolutely put the clamps on one George Pickens. Now, Baltimore didn't end up winning this game, but Trey White absolutely shined after they made that deal for him at the deadline. Look at him going up and taking the ball away from one of the best jump ball wide receivers in the game right now. The thing about Trey White, though, is in 2023, sure, he played through some injuries. He wasn't there for the entirety of the season, but he had a pretty good year with the Buffalo Bills. Now he's with the Buffalo Bills again. He had a PFF grade of 68.0, coverage grade of 79. That was 26th best in the National Football League. So what was the difference between that year, before he got injured, and between what he did in Baltimore? Well, in my opinion, there wasn't a ton of help behind him. Sure, you had Kyle Hamilton, who I believe is the best safety in the National Football League. But Nate Wiggins was a rookie. He was coming into his own. Other than that, the safety position, you had Marcus Williams, Eddie Jackson before Ardarius Washington came into the picture. And on the other side of the ball, Brandon Stevens was the other cornerback you were working with. Like, no wonder he didn't play very well. He didn't have a lot of help behind him outside of Kyle Hamilton, okay? Now, he may not have shined. That was obvious. I think we all saw that. But that doesn't mean that we shouldn't be rooting for him to play well in 2025, because if he does play well, and I'll tell you how exactly in just a couple of minutes, but if he does play well, that's going to mean something really, really good for Baltimore, okay? Make sure you are subscribed to the channel. Daily Ravens videos breaking news coverage whenever it happens. We also go live every single day on Tuesday, and when the football season rolls around, we're going to be live for every single game, all 100% free. So join the over 32,000 plus members of the flock that we have rocking with us right here at the Ravens Rundown. So the National Football League, they only give out 32 comp picks a year, and no team can have more than 4. Last year, Baltimore had 4. They had the max. They typically have a good bit because we've talked about that's really their strategy. Get as many draft picks as you can and draft and develop. The fact of the matter is, when it comes to Trey White with Buffalo, if he doesn't make the Bills roster or doesn't end up playing a ton of snaps, I wouldn't be surprised if that comp pick goes away because he's already at the bottom of the list, and there's some guys right outside the comp pick formula that if they play a lot in 2025, they're going to jump over Trey White, and those teams are going to be rewarded a comp pick for those players getting a ton of snaps. The good thing is he's got a pretty good spot on this depth chart. Now, he's not going to be a starter. But I just believe if he can play good minutes and be a rotational depth piece at that cornerback position for Buffalo, who, let's be frank, there's a reason they drafted a cornerback in the first round of the draft. They need cornerback help. If he can just be a rotational guy that plays 30 snaps a game, like that would be more than perfect for me, okay? I think that would equal Baltimore getting that compensatory pick. And yeah, it's only a 7th rounder, but hey, you want as many shots as you can get. As we stand right now, the Ravens' 2026 draft picks look like this. They own their first 4 rounds, 1 through 4. They got a pick in each of those rounds. They own all of them. Round 5 pick is a compensatory pick. Then their second and 5th round pick is one they own. And then their third, 5th round pick is a compensatory pick. They don't have a pick in the 6th round. They traded that to the Jets. But then they have a 7th round comp pick from Josh Jones and a 7th round possible comp pick. We're all going to see how that goes with one Tre'Davious White. Now, last year, like I said, they had 4 comp selections. They only ended up selecting 3 of them. They traded 176 just to go back a little bit. It was a weird trade with Los Angeles, if you remember the time. But they got Carson Vincent, the offensive tackle, Aeneas Peebles, and Robert Longer being back-to-back in the 6th round, who I thought that was one of the best 2-pick stretches that this team had for the entirety of this draft. Okay, I think Aeneas Peebles and Robert Longerbeam are both going to be great players in the National Football League and for the Baltimore Ravens, especially Peebles, with a lack of depth in the interior of that defensive line. But I know a lot of you are saying, so what? It was Peebles, Vincent, Longerbeam. Like, why does those picks matter? It doesn't look like they usually amount to much. Well, you'd be wrong if you said that. Because Kyle Juszczyk, or Juszczyk, however you say it, Juszczyk, there we go. He was a comp pick. Ron McClain, Isaiah Likely, Brandon Stevens, Malik Harrison, all of those guys were picked with those comp picks. And so are they hits 100% of the time? No, they're not. But a good bit of the time, when you are a team that drafts as well as Baltimore does, they can be. So this is why it's so important, all right? Because it's always great to get as many shots as you can in the draft. Because a lot of the time, let's be real, it just kind of comes down to luck. And you want to have as many throws at the dartboard as you possibly can. And then also, when you're a good team that's competing for Super Bowls year in and year out, as Baltimore always will be as long as Lamar Jackson is at the helm, a lot of times these draft picks are used as currency. They're used to trade up in the draft. They're used to attach to other players at the deadline to make that last missing piece come to Baltimore. So sure, you might not really be excited about a 7th round comp pick from Tre'Davious White, but you got to realize it could mean something really, really special, okay? We're done for today's show. Thank you so much for hanging out with us. Type Real One in the comment section if you made it all the way to the end. It's massive for us when you guys watch all the way through these videos, so I got to know which of you is doing that. If you are still here, go ahead, comment Real One in the comment section down below. And also make sure you are subscribed to the channel. Like I said at the top of the show, I need your help to get to my goal. 2-time subs in 1 year, 17,220 when I took over. Let's get that to 34,440. I need your help to do so. So if you haven't yet, go ahead and hit that subscribe button. We got a couple super chats. He is not giving up the top. He said, I stand in the lowest depths of the ocean, and I will stand upon the top of these ranks. Ravens to the Super Bowl, so saith I, see King. And then Darren sent in a $5 super chat. Just got the green light from the fiance to super chat to shoot for number one fan. The flock won't check out my registry, though. Oh, poor D. I know. And it happened right after he sent it, too. Oh, Darren Lay, you're top 3. You are top 3, my friend. Number 2 in the polls, tied for number 1 with Seeking in my heart. Shout out to the top fans on today's show. Darren is one of them. He's number 2. Seeking still at the top of the leaderboard. 500 XP. He super chat about $9, so a $10 super chat would take him over, I'm assuming. And then Christian Coveney is sitting at number 3. We got a ton of great fans in the building today. Appreciate every single one of you guys. If you want to know how to get to the top of this leaderboard, all you got to do is comment and keep on commenting. And then if you want to shoot up to the top, like with Darren or with Seeking, go ahead and send in a super chat to see if you can see your name at the top of the list.
Christian has taken sole possession of 3rd place.
Okay.
He's just been commenting.
Okay.
So, comments go a long way. Obviously, super chats are going to boost your XP quicker.
Yeah.
But if you continue to comment the entire stream, like Christian has, you're in 2nd place.
Yeah.
I mean, 3rd place, excuse me.
100%. So keep on commenting. If you don't want to send a donation to the channel, no worries whatsoever. You are not expected to, not required to. I'm not upset if you don't. That is by no means what we're saying today. So if you do not want to send in a donation, if you can't send in a donation, do not worry. But you can send in a comment. It's free to do so. If you want to... I did not bait you, Darren. I did not bait you.
So here's what happened. I watched this happen while we were in the middle of the segment.
Yeah.
Seeking sent in another 5.
But
and then, Seeking sent in a 5, and then Darren sent one in 1 minute later.
Instantaneously after it. Christian says you ain't first, you're last. I said $5 after they said that, though, says Seeking. There's some beef over who wants to be number 1.
I mean, Darren, on paper, if you would have sent that before Seeking, you would have been number 1.
Yep.
But Seeking hit the 5 first. He hit the 5 first.
He was just a little bit quicker. Darren said,
Joey,
I guaranteed it.
You did guarantee it.
But I guaranteed it that if he sent, yeah, that's
there
fair.
was the fine print. The fine print was that Seeking didn't send in a 5 before him.
Yes.
You got to read the fine print.
Oh, man. Hey, Darren, I guarantee you to get a registry gift for you that's at least $5, okay? That's a guarantee. It's at least going to be $5. If you want to get on today's show, he said you used the G word. If you want to get on today's show, use hashtag Ravens in the chat or super chat to get on today's Q&A. A super chat is the only way that you can guarantee your spot. I used the G word again in today's mailbag. Darren wants Jack to show his face. Yamel, ask that question again, brother, and use hashtag Ravens.
What you want, Darren? I'm right here. I ain't afraid. I ain't hiding.
Jack's not afraid.
I didn't say the G word. You did.
I did say the G word.
Said, I literally, you know what? Honestly, I saved myself because I'm like, I don't want to say that. I said, I don't want to say that. I said, there's a good chance.
I should have said allegedly. I should have said allegedly it's guaranteed.
Well, something. There's a lot of PR that we could have done that we didn't do. Look. Wow. You want some? You want some?
That is funny.
You mistyped. It's okay. I forgive you. You were hacked.
Bro,
my favorite thing to do when I'm, as Harrison calls them, doing Twitter rants every night when I'm watching the Red Sox game.
Yep.
My favorite thing is to just in the 4th or 5th inning, if they're losing, be like, well, this game's over. And then if they come back and win, I just quote tweet it and say, I was hacked.
Yeah, that's good.
Darren, you were hacked. I know how it is.
That's my biggest fault, especially with Tennessee football games. Not the Titans. Volunteers for anybody who's watching. If I'm watching the Vols and they have a slow first drive, I'm like, oh, it's done.
Oh, yeah.
And Kennedy gets so mad at me for it, rightfully so, because I'm not very fun to watch those games with. But it's hard not to to be. It's like I hear this a lot in golf, but I think it transfers to every single major sport. When your team is winning and playing so well, you don't ever think they're going to win again. But if they're losing, you don't ever think they're going to win. Excuse me. If they're winning, you don't think they're going to ever lose again. And if they're losing, you don't think they're ever going to win again.
So the Red Sox went on a 10-game win streak going into the trade deadline.
Yeah.
Or not the trade deadline, the All-Star break. Come out of the All-Star break and get absolutely destroyed in their first 2 games. And I literally said in my videos, I'm like, I don't think they're going to win again.
Yeah.
After they just got done with a 10-game win streak. Oh, yeah, Darren was hacked.
Yeah, he was hacked.
He got hacked. It happens.
I could confirm.
That's why I didn't take it seriously, because I knew he got hacked.
Yeah. What are we missing in production?
Mitch wants another highlight cut like 15 minutes after his last one.
Interesting. Not really. Okay. Are we good on questions? How are we doing on questions? Okay.
$10 super chat. I'm not going to say the G word, but I would bet a lot of money.
Allegedly.
Allegedly, thinking potentially, not rocket science, but this is what they're telling me. $10 super chat, you're number 1 fan.
Yep.
Allegedly. There is a 0.000000001% chance that you won't be.
I'll allegedly guarantee it.
You don't say the word.
I said allegedly.
No, you can't say allegedly guaranteed.
Yes, you can. You can say allegedly in front of anything.
Allegedly, he guaranteed it.
Allegedly, O.J. Simpson killed his wife.
I'm not gonna give my thoughts.
Oh man. Okay.
This is interesting. King said he's done with super chats. Is he baiting though?
Could be baiting.
He could be baiting. He could be like, I'm done. And then he puts
he
in
just
like,
said unless ...
That's what I'm saying. He might be baiting Darren.
Might be baiting him.
Only one way to find out, Darren.
Only one way.
Only one way to find out.
Kimberly says, I saved my money. I'm not donating. No worries, Kimberly. Christian says, I'm broke. Christian, no worries to you as well. Just appreciate you guys being in the chat, hanging out with us on today's live show.
We're just having fun.
We're just having a good time.
I mean, Christian, you're number 3.
Yeah, you're number 3.
And you've just been commenting.
Just keep doing what you're doing,
Just keep doing what you're doing, man.
Okay. It is mailbag time right here on the show. Your questions, my answers. Really excited to see what you guys have for us in the chat. I know you guys always bring the heat on these things, so appreciate you guys hanging out with us today. Yeah, it's that one. Yeah, it's that one. Okay, Jack, are you ready to roll, my friend? Yeah, if that's cool. Do you have one pulled up? Okay, great. Christian says not first. Okay, sweet. Mailbag coming up for you guys right now. You are watching our mailbag segment. These are my favorite to do every single week. We go live on Tuesday afternoons, and if you guys want to get featured, you got to subscribe to the channel, turn on those notifications so that when we do go live, you guys can be there in the chat with us, and then join us Tuesdays at 5 p.m. Eastern Time. Get your questions in the live chat right there, and you can get a chance to get featured on one of these. Love doing them. Love you guys bringing the heat every single week. And with that, let's get into the first question. Jennifer Glassman, she will start us off saying, #Ravens, who do you think will be the best rookie on the team? I think the best rookie on the team is probably going to be Malachi Starks. I think he's going to have the biggest role. Now, I think he's probably also going to be the rookie that makes the most mistakes, but that's just because he's going to be the guy that plays the most, okay? When Ardarius Washington went down with that Achilles, that pretty much just took away every kind of wading into the water that was going to be with Malachi Starks. He's just going to dive right in. Right off the high dive, okay? 35 feet. He's shaking in his boots, but he's going to make the jump anyway. And I think you're going to see a lot of splash plays, if I'm going to continue in with this analogy. But I also think you're going to see some times where he makes some rookie mistakes, and that's okay. But I think at the end of the year, we're going to say Malachi Starks was the best, but maybe Mike Green has the highest ceiling. Jameer Castro is coming up next. #Ravens. Should the Ravens add Zadarius Smith to get help on the edge? Jameer, great question. I would love it. I would love to add Zadarius Smith. As of the recording of this video, like I said, Tuesday live show, he has not been signed yet in free agency. And I think he'd be a wonderful addition. I mean, you saw what he was able to do in Detroit, even at his age. He was really, really good with the Lions, okay? And now I'm not saying he's going to come in here and get double-digit sacks or anything like that, but if you make him a rotational edge rusher where every third down, that's pretty much all he does, get in there, get to the passer, I think he could be a guy that really, really gels well with this team, really, really gels well as we've seen like with this franchise. And I think he could be a guy that's really, really great and kind of, helps get that edge with the edge rusher group. Kimberly Harmon's up next. #Ravens. Do you think King Henry gets over 2,000 or 3,000 rushing yards in the regular season? No and mega no. Okay, he's not going to get over 3,000. I don't think he's going to get over 2,000 just because he got so close last year, and I think this wide receiver core has only gotten better from last year to this one. And I also think like he's getting a little bit older. He's over the age of 32. No running back has ever rushed for 1,400 or more yards at that age. I think he'll get more than 1,400, but 2,000's a lot, okay? 2,000 is like what? I don't feel like doing the math. It's a lot of yards per game, okay? And so I think he's going to be great. Really, really excited to see him play. But 2,000, I don't think that's going to be what he reaches this season. Next up, we got Joey_Aguilar season. We got a Vols Chan in the chat. What's up, Joey? Are the Ravens going to sign Jadeveon Clowney? Similar type discussion, right? Jadeveon Clowney has been in Baltimore before. He's an older edge rusher, and he's a guy that we just saw 2 years ago have like the best season of his career with the Ravens. Now, a lot of that was McDonald, right? We all know what a wonderful masterpiece he was. It's the reason he got the head coaching job in Seattle. But I liked what I saw from Zach Orr, okay? And I believe that this team needs a little bit more help at consistently getting to the passer. And part of that is having more guys they feel that they can throw in there in that rotation, okay? Jadeveon Clowney, I think, would be a really good addition. He didn't have his best season with the Panthers last year. I think a little bit over 5.5 sacks. But at the same time, he played for like the worst defense in the NFL, okay? He's a guy that if Baltimore brings him in, I think that could really, really help get that consistent pressure on the quarterback that we failed to see last year, help cause a little bit more of those turnovers. Be honest with me. What do you think? Should the Ravens sign Jadeveon Clowney? If you think they should, give me a yes in the comment section. And if you don't think so, give me a no, but tell me why not. #Ravens from Bam Jones. What do you think about TJ Tampa? I think he's going to be a good player. I think it shows me a little bit. Maybe he's not as good as some would hope he was going to be because they went out and got Jair Alexander. Now, they got him at a great price, and I think Baltimore was going to be the only team that got that price. But if they felt the need to go sign a free agent cornerback, it's probably because they didn't believe TJ Tampa was going to be able to give them that great snaps this year. Now, I think, like I've said about a lot of these guys, like I said about Zadarius, like I said about Jadeveon Clowney, I think he's going to be a great rotational piece. Like, I think he's going to be a guy that when he goes out there, it's not going to be obvious. Like, he's not going to be a massive gaping hole and liability for this roster. But at the same time, I think everybody in year 2 was kind of hoping and expecting for him to take a big jump up. And he might be able to do that, but we're not going to see that much of TJ Tampa this year just because the addition of Chidobe Awuzie and Jair Alexander. Abdi Hassan, should EDC sign Amari Cooper for insurance? I don't think so. I feel really, really good about this wide receiver room, and when you think about this Ravens offense and the weapons that they have, you just got to think of the fact that there's one football, okay? Literally, that's it. You can't pass it to everybody all the time. And you already have Isaiah Likely, Mark Andrews, Zay Flowers. You have DeAndre Hopkins, Rashad Bateman, Lamar as a running threat, Derrick Henry, Justice Hill. Like, that's 8 people I didn't even have to think about. Amari Cooper, sure, I wouldn't mind him, but I just don't think it makes much sense because I think they already got enough offensive weapons on that roster. Before we get into more, what could be an offensive weapon for you if you're going out there and trying to look as fly as you possibly can is this Ravens cutoff hoodie, which is $33 right now if you go to chatsports.com/cutoff hoodie. If you like to feel comfortable, feel nice and cozy, but don't like to feel too hot like from a normal hoodie, Get the cutoff. It's $22 off, and that offer is not going to last for long. If you love the Ravens, love officially licensed merchandise, and love it at a great price, go over to Fanatics, chatsports.com/cutoff hoodie. That link is in the comments and description of today's video. Next up from Jameer Castro, which Ravens receiver will lead the team in yards? So I'm going to be safe, okay? And I'm going to tell you it's going to be Zay Flowers. That's the angel on my shoulder, okay? But the devil on my shoulder is saying, Joey, it might be Rashad Bateman. And I don't necessarily disagree. Rashad Bateman got almost 800 yards last season, and they just signed with that contract. I think he's only going to have a better season this year. Like, I would not be shocked because of the deep threat that he is and because of how solid his hands are. If at some point in the season we look up, Rashad Bateman's at the top of the leaderboard when it comes to receiving yards. They obviously wanted him around. They paid him to keep him. And I think that by the end of the year, there's a chance Rashad Bateman might be the best receiver we've got on this team. Christian Coveney is up next. How confident are you that the O-line will be able to produce this year? Pretty confident. I'm confident in the fact that the right tackles, or right tackle, left tackle, the tackle situation is one of the best in football. Roger Rosengarten, Ronnie Stanley, it doesn't get much better than that, especially when we saw how good Rosengarten was at the end of the year when he's going off against guys like T.J. Watt, Myles Garrett, and they're not getting not only sacks but even pressures on the quarterback. Center position we feel great about, Tyler Linderbaum. It's those two guards that I think are a weakness on this offense. Daniel Fa'alele, I think, is going to take a really big step. He's training with Duke over the offseason. That's a guy who's seen a ton of really, really good offensive linemen. Andrew Voorhees or Ben Cleveland's going to be the position battle to watch out during training camp. And I just want the best player to win. Okay, I don't care if it's Cleveland. I don't care if it's Voorhees. I just want to have confidence at that left guard spot. Darius Williams is next. Do you think we let safeties Bo Braid and Sanusi Kane fly, or do we keep them in the nest? I like that question that has a Raven theme to it. Bird-themed questions, only next episode, okay? Write that down. Let's talk about it, though. Bo Braid, Sanusi Kane, I think they're going to fly more than they did last season because of two reasons. Number one, they're a year older. They aren't rookies anymore. They've spent a full season in the National Football League, whether that's on the roster or on the practice squad. Okay, both those guys got some time in the regular season. And then also our Darius Washington tore his Achilles about 2 months ago. They have to play more, okay? They have to. You got Malachi Starks in, so they're not going to be a starter. They're not going to compete for that starting spot. But there's going to be a lot of room for them over the next couple weeks of training camp and in the preseason to prove to Zach Orr, to John Harbaugh, like, hey, I can take a lot of these snaps. I can make a really, really, really big impact on defense. Now, who does it out of the two of them the most? I think I like Bo Braid a little bit more than Sanusi Kane. But still, I think it's any one of those guys that has the ability to go up and be the third, fourth best safety on this roster. It's just going to be up to whichever of them wants it. If you're excited for training camp, let me know by liking today's video. Hit that thumbs up button if you are pumped up that football is finally here. We got preseason soon. That means September is coming close. We've almost made it through the desert, and if you're as excited as I am, make sure to hit that thumbs up button. Up next, we got Jacko. Hashtag Ravens, will the imminent Pittsburgh trades for Jennings and Boyd cause Baltimore to go all in and sign Simmons? Maybe. I don't think Pittsburgh's going to trade for Juwan Jennings. I think they're already done. I think Pittsburgh's going to make a move for a wide receiver, but I don't think it's going to happen until the trade deadline. I don't know if that would cause Baltimore to go all in and sign Simmons. I think they should at least be in contact with them. And Justin Simmons has already announced that he wants to play for a contender. So that means Baltimore's at least in the mix. Now, is he in Baltimore's mix? I'm not sure about that. But if Pittsburgh trades for Jennings and Boyd, I don't know if that's what would trigger the signing for Simmons. I think they're just kind of worried about their squad, not necessarily worried as much about what Pittsburgh does, although we as fans are probably worried a little bit more about what Pittsburgh does. Attendance squad is next. If the Ravens don't win the Super Bowl this year, what do you think would be the biggest reason? How do you think the team is trying to prevent that? Wow. Fantastic question, attendance squad. If they don't win the Super Bowl this year, it will be because they continue to lose in close games. And we saw that last year. One possession game against the Gardner Minshew Raiders. They couldn't pull it out. One possession game against the Steelers week 11. Couldn't pull it out. One possession game against the Jameis Winston Browns. Couldn't pull it out. One possession game in the playoffs against the Buffalo Bills. Guess what? Spoiler alert, they couldn't pull that one out either, okay? That has been what has plagued them over the last couple of seasons. And if they don't win the Super Bowl, it's because that continues to plague them. It's because they keep continuing to get in those close games. And in those clutch moments, they can't get it done. Now, how are they trying to prevent that? I think they're going to need to up the turnovers, okay? I think a lot of times you can look back at those games and say, okay, you didn't turn the football over. I think that's going to be a focus of not even trying to let them be in those situations. But I think another thing of that is I think they're going to try to improve Lamar Jackson's ability against man blitzes. He did great against the blitz if the other team was in zone while blitzing, but if they were in man, he struggled, okay? And I think they threw a lot of that in the close games, in those ending fourth quarter situations. I think he struggled a little bit. I think that's going to be a focus in training camp and going into the year. Long answer, but great question. Final one on today's show. Poe is a go. Do you see the Ravens making a trade at the deadline? Yes, if they believe that they are so close and only one missing piece, as in a safety, another safety, or an interior defensive lineman. If there's a really good defensive tackle that's on the trade block, I could see Baltimore being really, really, really interested, okay? If they believe that this is the time for their Super Bowl and they're one missing piece away and they think they can get that guy in a trade, then yes, I could see them making a trade. But if they just kind of rolling and they're a 1 or 2 loss team, we all know this is a team that doesn't love to make moves, then I would not be surprised. Just kind of see them stand pat and not really do anything when that November deadline comes. Don't be shy. Name a player you think the Ravens should trade for. Let me know in the comment section down below. Name a guy I should keep my eye on around the trade deadline. Make sure you got me on social media as well. You can find me at Joey Petersen on Twitter and on Instagram. Both those links in the comments and description of today's video. More than anything, though, make sure you guys subscribe to the channel so that way you can get daily content on your Baltimore Ravens. And we are out. Great questions today. Shout out Attendance Squad. Question of the day. We are currently sitting at Sea King of the Seas, at that top spot. Darren in that second spot, Christian Coveney in that third spot, Attendance Squad 4, Ravens 76, B Moore in 5, Adam 76 in 6th, Kimberly in 7th, Jameer in 8th, and then we got Gugu in 9th, Abdi in 10th. A ton of you guys brought your A game today, and for that, I'm very, very appreciative. It was a great show today. Shout out to producer Jack for helping us. Shout out to both Xavier and Casey for shadowing today's live stream. Maybe on a live stream in the future, you might see one of those guys on it. For producer Jack, my name is Joey Petersen. Thank you guys so much for joining me today. Y'all have a fantastic rest of your Tuesday, and God bless.